Yeah, so Australian rugby is in a bit of trouble here. This has to be the worst professional rugby game I have ever watched in my life. This yeah, so essentially the second half was unwatchable. The entirety of the second half was unwatchable because it was bucketing down rain. Okay, it's like nobody ever played in rain before, and especially from the Rebel side, there was just knock-ons everywhere. Every like third phase, every three phase, there has not been a play more than three phases without a drop ball. Like it was just scrum, 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 scrum. The entire second half, I thought I was getting tortured. It was so bad. It was absolutely the worst 40 minutes of rugby I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay, it was just to give you an idea how bad the second half was. Okay, I'll just read you some stats, and you will know how bad it was, and you will know why you shouldn't watch this stupid freaking game. Okay, so at halftime, the Rebels was winning in possession 60% to 40%, and the Rebels had one turnover, conceded one turnover, and the Reds conceded 7 turnovers, and there was, I think, 7 or 8 scrums at halftime. Okay? By the end of the match, the Rebels conceded 22 turnovers. So the Rebels conceded 21 turnovers in 40 minutes of rugby. And the scrum, the Reds had 15 scrums. 15 scrums. And like 10 of those at least were in the second half. Because the Rebels keeps dropping the ball again and again. It was a joke. It was literally a joke. You're like, surely, they're professional players. They can't just drop the ball again after like 2 passes. Drops the ball. Surely, that's just 3 in a row now. That can't keep happening. Drops the ball. You ask, surely this can't happen for the remainder of the half. It happened for the entire second half. 21 conceded turnovers. It was like unbelievably bad. It was just unwatchable. Like it was literally torture. I could not believe how bad this was. I literally written down in my notes, what the fuck am I watching? I don't know what else to write. Like, there's nothing to write except what the fuck am I watching? This was so bad. This was, I genuinely don't know how professional players can't play in the rain. The Reds is not nearly as bad. The Reds was not good, was also making errors, but not nearly at the rate of the Rebels. The Rebels was literally dropping the ball every third pass. Okay, and there was one point, the Rebels number 10, Jay Gordon, or what his name is, Jay Gordon. He was, last year he played, to be fair, last year he played really well. Carter Gordon. Last year he played really well. When Matt Tuamura got injured. And so he's finally getting a start this year, and this was horrendous from him. So there was one point in the second half where I'm guessing the Rebels realized they're just dropping the ball constantly. So the best way to avoid that is to just kick the ball away. So they're just like randomly kicking the ball down the field. And then there was one point where the Rebels were inside the Reds half, inside the Reds 40. Carter Gordon gets the ball, kicks the ball out on the full. And I'm pretty sure there was one point where the Rebels had a penalty. So Carter Gordon tries to kick the ball out for the touch, and literally the ball went like 5 meters forward, and it literally went straight out and like gained like 5 meters. I kid you not. It was so bad. It was so bad. The TV broadcasters didn't show it. They literally showed the Reds bench. They were showing the what's his name? Vinavalu on the bench, and did not show this kick. I kid you not, this was so bad. The TV broadcaster didn't show it. Because I was watching this thinking, okay, Reds got a penalty now. Why is the camera looking at the Reds bench? And the next thing showed me was the Rebels throwing the line out. I'm like, what happened to the kick? And then I realized the line out was about 5 meters ahead of where the penalty was given. So the ball just literally went straight out onto the sideline. It didn't really even go forward. This was so bad. The broadcasters were so too embarrassed to even show it. I kid you not. I kid you not. This was like I honestly don't know what else to say. So if we were to just look at the first half, the Rebels actually improved a lot from last year, especially in the 4-pack. With they actually were dominating the Reds in possession, but not able to get the same amount of run meters due to their own still bit of handling errors, because apparently there had been a bit of rain already, so it was wet. But it wasn't raining in the first half, or maybe a tiny bit of rain in the first half. So, in fact, the Rebels were able to put on a nice try, a nice rolling maul that I haven't seen before from the Rebels. That was like perfectly executed to score a try against the Reds. Tanela Tupou in the first half of the Reds was a bit of a wild card, I guess you might call him. He scores a try into the corner, the first try for the Reds of the season. He gets it on the wing, jumps in, and then like 5 minutes later, he gets yellow card for repeatedly infringing, for repeated penalties against for the Reds. There was a bit of a knock-ons everywhere as well, but not nearly as bad. So the at halftime was like, in terms of stats, the Rebels were actually ahead of the Reds in some regards in terms of possession, right? 60-40. So huge improvements in the Rebels. I was thinking to myself, this could be a good game. The Rebels could upset the Reds. It was looking a bit scrappy, a little bit of drop balls, but it was still, quite evenly contested. And then the Reds were able to capitalize on some small mistakes that the Rebels were able to make and convert those into points, and just barely staying ahead, right? The Reds typically had a scrummaging advantage over the Rebels last year, due to Tupou being extremely good at the scrum. The Rebels has improved a lot in their scrummaging, so that was not a definite advantage to the Reds anymore. And the Reds were penalized in the scrummaging as well in a few times. Tupou getting probably a bit overconfident. And then the lineouts from the Reds weren't so good either. Wasn't very clean. Wasn't very clean. The Rebels lineout was slightly better, but it was, so both the rolling maul from the Reds, that was pretty good last year. We didn't see much of that in this game in the first half. And then, so halftime, it was kind of like entertaining match in some regards. And both teams showed, the Rebels in particularly, I was very impressed, especially with the 4-pack, huge improvements for last year. And then the rain kicked in the second half. The game became an absolute joke. 21 turnovers conceded in 40 minutes of rugby, 15 scrums given away to the opposition. The Reds also gave away scrums as well, but, this was just unwatchable half of rugby. If you watch this game, if you were live there, I feel sorry for you. If you watch this game, let me know your thoughts. I genuinely don't have anything else to talk about. It's horrendous. It's torture. Don't watch it. And, go watch some of the New Zealand games instead. The Hurricanes versus Crusader game, highly recommended. Much better than this one. This is embarrassing for Australian rugby, to be honest. I am embarrassed. I'm embarrassed watching this game. And this was not really a professional level of rugby being on display here, unfortunately. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the final game this week for the New Zealand side of the game. Cheers guys, thanks for watching, really do appreciate you being here.